Trump beats Taylor Swift in favorability as gun ownership soars. It's Trump versus Kamala. Welcome to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin, where we break through the noise and deliver the news that matters, cutting through the misinformation out there. We take a constitutionalist for liberty perspective with a moderate conservative Republican viewpoint, focusing on facts and presenting a balanced outlook. Let's get to the heart of the matter and what's happening across the nation. First off, I have bad news, folks. Kamala Harris just picked up a major endorsement. You'd think it would be from someone influential or a big name, right? Nope. She secured the backing of the IRS union. That's right. The folks who oversee taking your hard-earned income believe Kamala Harris is the best choice to lead the constitutional republic. What's next? An endorsement from P. Diddy? Maybe too soon for that joke, but you get the point. We'll be right back and we'll get into the headlines. I think it's time for us to go right. So let's dive into the headlines, detailing the facts and breaking down what's going on. Thank you for tuning in. The hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. As we were talking about, the IRS union endorses Kamala Harris in a move that leaves many shaking their heads. The IRS union has endorsed Kamala Harris for president. This union represents the bureaucrats responsible for collecting your taxes. It's strange, but a telling endorsement, reflecting a deeper alliance between Harris and the powerful agencies of government. Remember, they decided to give guns to the IRS agents. Yeah, don't pay your taxes. They come with you to kill you. The people working for the IRS apparently believe that Kamala Harris would lead the country well, though this only raises questions about the future of our tax system and economic freedoms under her leadership. I still don't know how we went from a country where we thought about taxes, stamp taxes, and we had tea parties, and we had a Revolutionary War kind of based around Britain taxing us to death and not giving us proper representation, to the fact that the IRS now has guns and they're a political realm of our political arm of our government and our executive branch. It's crazy. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris snubs bipartisan Catholic charity event. Kamala Harris has once again shown her disdain for working across party lines. She recently refused to attend the bipartisan Al Smith dinner, an event that benefits Catholic charities. This nonpartisan gathering has long been a tradition of politicians from both sides of the aisles, and her absence is another example of how out of touch she is with mainstream Americans, especially the Catholic community. It's hard not to see this as a snub to those who hold traditional values. Considering even Biden is supposed to be a Catholic, you would think she would attend it. I don't even know what kind of religion she is. Meanwhile, Kamala's contradictions on the Second Amendment. Kamala Harris is attempting to convince rural voters, probably with some, "Hey, y'all, my name's Kamala Harris, and I love the Second Amendment, and I love guns." Well, she's trying to show that she's pro-Second Amendment. Most recently, she shared a particular moment with Oprah. And remember, these moments, there's a video, they have cameras. They have, what do they call it? They have the prompters. They have the teleprompters telling them exactly what they should say. So it's nothing new. Everything's fed into her. Maybe her earrings, I don't know. She likes to wear those same earrings. So her little particular moment with Oprah where she said, quote, "If somebody breaks into my house, they're getting shot." She quickly added, "I probably should not have said that." But then the damage was done. The comments seemed off the cuff, but felt staged, like much of what Kamala Harris says. Karma, 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 camellia. The real problem, this soundbite doesn't match up with her previous statements. Back in 2020, she criticized stand your ground laws, saying they were often used to justify racial profiling. Doesn't matter what race the people come in when they come into my house and want to break in. I'm going to shoot them. I don't give a crap what color you are. You could be a Martian. I don't care. Meanwhile, Harris's inconsistency is glaring, and it's clear she's moderating her stance because she needs the support of swing states like Pennsylvania and Michigan. Despite her words, voters wouldn't be fooled by the sudden pro-Second A rhetoric. The truth lies in her earlier positions, such as when she supported strict gun control as Attorney General of California. Meanwhile, Second Amendment and rural voters, as we just said, Kamala Harris continues to soften her tone on gun rights. But don't let her recent comments fool you. Her stance on Second Amendment rights has been long marked by hostility towards private ownership of firearms. Harris's flip-flopping on this issue indicates political opportunism rather than a genuine change of heart. As we approach the 2024 election, it's crucial to remember her previous actions in California, where she pushed for stronger gun control measures and supportive invasive checks on legal gun owners. Meanwhile, gun ownership is on the rise, folks. One of the most significant cultural shifts over the past few years has been the rise in gun ownership across party lines. The new survey reveals that 55.4% of Republicans now own guns, up from 48.5% in 2016. Probably a lot of people winning guns at gun raffles. This is a clear sign that gun rights are becoming a defining issue for GOP voters, as concerns for personal safety, government overreach, and Second Amendment rights continue to drive the debate. But what's even more surprising is the increase in gun ownership among Democrats. In 2016, 23.2% of Democrats owned firearms, but that number has now climbed to 29.2%. This could reflect growing anxiety over public safety in urban areas or a broader recognition of the importance of self-defense, especially in the light of rising crime rates across the country. While Democrat leadership remains staunchly anti-gun, many of their constituents are quietly embracing the right to bear arms. These shifts indicate a growing recognition of the importance of self-defense and personal security. Regardless of political affiliation, the Second Amendment remains a cornerstone of American liberty, and these statistics show that more Americans are acknowledging this reality. Meanwhile, Kamala's broadband failure. Kamala Harris was tasked with bringing high-speed internet to underserved Americans, a project backed by $42 billion in federal funds. However, not one single home has been connected after more than 1,000 days since the bill was passed. And I think this is the same scam Obama and other people have used. This failure speaks volumes about Harris's leadership. Despite the immense resources at her disposal, the broadband initiative has been bogged down by bureaucratic red tape and inaction. And Trump recently remarked that this is just another example of the administration's inefficiency, and he's right. Moving on to Georgia. Georgia. Okay, Georgia's moved to secure election integrity. Georgia's hand-counted ballots. Fantastic news from Georgia. The Georgia State Election Board has voted to require hand-counted ballots for the 2024 presidential election, hopefully and beyond. This is a huge win for the election transparency and ensuring that every vote is accurately counted. Given all the controversy and concerns surrounding electronic voting machines, especially in Georgia, the decision to return to hand-counting ballots signals a strong commitment to election integrity. This move helps restore faith in our constitutional republic and the election process, which is vital for the future of our democracy republic, whichever way you want to say it. In a major win for election integrity, Georgia's State Election Board voted to require hand-counted ballots in the upcoming presidential election. This decision, backed by many many constitutional Republicans, ensures greater transparency and accuracy in the vote counting process. With the 2024 election on the horizon, this measure aims to restore trust in the process after widespread concerns about voting procedures in previous elections. Meanwhile, Oklahoma purges their voter rolls. Republican Governor Kevin Stitt of Oklahoma revealed that over 450,000 names have been purged from the state's voter rolls. These names included deceased individuals, felons, and duplicates, making this a significant move towards ensuring clean and fair elections. This is yet another step towards restoring voter confidence and securing the integrity of our elections. And I would like to know any states out there that's ran by Democrats. Have they done anything like this to ensure our election is valid and free and fair? Because they always talk about our democracy possibly getting destroyed and so-and-so is after our democracy, yet they've installed Kamala Harris to be out of the blue with no real American votes to be the candidate for their president. And they're always fighting against things like voter ID laws, and they're bringing lots of illegals to come in and actually giving them driver's license and letting them vote. Oh, yeah, they are totally protecting the election integrity. Let's move on. So the Trump's favorability and future. Donald Trump remains a highly favored figure with 47% favorability rating, higher than pop icon Taylor Swift's 44%. However, in a recent statement, Trump clarified that if he were to lose in 2024, he would not run again in 2028. We'll go back there in a little bit. This opens up important questions about the future of Republican leadership, but for now, Trump maintains a commanding presence on the national stage. But we know Trump's not going anywhere. Meanwhile, and I'll probably pronounce this wrong, Amir Ghalib endorses Donald Trump. Amir Ghalib, a Democrat and Muslim immigrant mayor of Hamtramck, Michigan, has endorsed Donald Trump. This endorsement is particularly noteworthy given Ghalib's background and political affiliation. It's a sign that Trump's appeal is broadening to diverse communities, including those who traditionally vote Democrat. Ghalib's endorsement signals a shift that could have a major impact on the upcoming election. And let's go right back to Trump's favorability versus pop culture. One interesting takeaway from recent polls is a stark contrast in public opinion between former President Donald Trump and pop star Taylor Swift. According to the latest number, Trump enjoys a 47% favorability rating, surpassing Swift's 44%. Now, what does this mean? Despite relentless negative coverage and multiple legal battles, Trump's base of support remains strong. This speaks of resilience of his political brand, which has outlasted numerous controversies and continues to galvanize millions of Americans. Swift, on the other hand, maintains a solid cultural influence. But Trump's political clout has greater staying power in the realm of national politics. Taylor Swift is not running. I'm assuming it's supposed to be Swift Haktua 2028. The takeaway here is that Trump's favorability, despite attacks from the mainstream media and the left, remains a force to be reckoned with. His ability to connect with a broad swath of the American public shows that his message resonates beyond the traditional political sphere. Meanwhile, bipartisan protection for Trump and major candidates. In response to two foiled assassination attempts against Donald Trump, and what they're reporting is about 5 different groups trying to assassinate him now. I can name those for you: CIA, FBI, DNC, Harris, Mystery Box. The House has passed a bipartisan bill to increase Secret Service protection for major presidential and vice presidential candidates. And I truly think that our former president, whoever our former president is, bad, good, whatever, should get full protection all the time. Even though Jimmy Carter is about to pass away, probably vote first, pass away, and they should still have a house surrounded to make sure somebody takes him out, doesn't take him out beforehand. That's how I believe. So this is a reminder of the dangerous political environment we're living in, where even a former president faces threats to his life simply for standing up for what he believes in. This measure shows that, thankfully, there are still politicians on both sides who understand the importance of protecting our leaders, regardless of political party. I don't know in the history of politics where a president or running again or a previous president has had 2 assassination attempts. Then again, they always usually get them the first time. Again, going back, Trump's 2028 announcement and another key revelation, Donald Trump has stated that if he loses in the upcoming 2024 election, he will not run again in 2028. We'll see. This puts a rest to speculation about the long-term political future. Trump's statement signals that in 2024 is a pivotal moment, not only for his legacy, but for the future direction of the Republican Party. Wherever he wins or loses, Trump's policies and influence will continue to shape GOP politics. I hope so. God, I hope so, because we need a more moderate government. But this announcement indicates that the 2024 election will be his final run for office. Well, at least for president. This decision will have ripple effects across the political. I can imagine Donald Trump running for governor of Florida and then boosting DeSantis to run for president at the time, even though kind of jury's out on DeSantis. But hey, this decision will have ripple effects across the political landscape, influencing potential GOP leadership and candidates who are waiting in the wings for a post-Trump era. If Trump wins, he will solidify his leadership for the next 4 years. If he loses, the GOP will need to begin preparing for a future without Trump at the helm, though his political influence is sure to endure. And please, fellow Republicans and GOP, please don't go backwards. Please don't go. I am religious myself, but please don't go back into the ultra social conservative, the far right, the evangelisticals and stuff running our country. We are fighting against the left who's gone way too far left and wants us to take us one certain direction, but then the right wants to take us a whole nother direction, and it's not good for the American people. There is a growing large base of unaffiliated voters, especially in North Carolina, which is the base is unaffiliated voters, and it's time that we need to get off this two-party type system. I understand there's going to be 2 parties, but we need to get to more of the moderate type candidates where politicians can reach across the aisle, work together without being demonized or called dinos or et cetera, and work together to help the American people. They are supposed to represent we the people, all the people, not just a political party. And again, I'll urge you in this vote, yes, please vote for Donald Trump because he is the best person to take care of this country, regardless of who's a Republican or Democrat. We've seen that. But if there's other people on your ticket, namely for me, North Carolina, who are not good representation for everybody, and they just happen to be your political party, it doesn't mean you got to vote for them. It doesn't mean you got to vote for the other side. You could just not vote. But if another candidate who happens to be another political party happens to be somebody who can do their job, then they might be able to deserve your vote. But you have to keep them to your fire, to keep them to the fire. You're going to disagree on some things. And I always go back to the Ronald Reagan 80-20. 80% your friend and 20% your foe does not make you your enemy. So pick moderate candidates, no matter what political side they're on. Make sure you pick people who put we the people in their sights, and make sure you look at their history, look into them, and don't just go by how much money they've brought in. Because, hey, and they make that money, yeah, you know what's going on, right? So meanwhile, there's political bias in the media. Another stark statistic highlights the overwhelming partisan divide in the media. And remember, the media is now curving to a 4-day work week. That's including the late night shows. Only 3.4% of reporters identify as Republicans, while 36.4% are Democrats. I'm a Republican, but I am a constitutionalist for liberty. I don't know where that fits in everything. And I'm not a reporter per se. I'm a citizen journalist, but I do report the news, and I give my opinion. You know I give my opinion. Now, this imbalance reveals a significant bias on how news is reported and frames the public discourse. With such a heavy tilt towards one political party, It's no wonder many Americans feel that mainstream media coverage is skewed against conservative viewpoints. Yes, it is. The media, just the whole programming, it was like ABC or so. You can see after the debate, it's like even the show that's called The Talk or whatever, who has good people on there. They don't normally talk politics, but oh my God, it was a love fest. Oh, Kamala Harris did this, Kamala Harris did, Kamala Harris. I'm like, you're getting paid. It's just like how they push the C on y'all, the big C and the V, they push that on you because money. They filtered money and they pushed that on you because they got paid. It's all payola. The media plays a powerful role in shaping public opinion. And with such a small percentage of journalists as identifying as Republicans, there's a clear need for alternative outlets like Go Right News that provide balanced reporting. We are here to bridge the gap, ensuring that voices on the right are heard and that the truth isn't buried under partisan rhetoric. And also that means, folks, I have no problem calling out my fellow Republicans, calling out things, being the devil's advocate for issues. I am not drawn into, I have to feel like this. This is what I have to do. I have to do. This is the list of things that's in my GOP standards, and I've got to go by this, even though I disagree with it. I've got to push this. No, we are original on the GOP. That's why we have inner squabble. And I got to give you how I feel, in my opinion. And you take the information I give you and you make your own opinions. And I'm just trying to help you when you're trying to fight those brick wall people that don't want to hear you at all. But remember, don't waste too much time on them. Go for the low-hanging fruit that are going to listen to you and learn. All I got to say, listen, learn, be educated. Meanwhile, Janet Jackson questions Kamala Harris's racial identity. I loved Michael Jackson. And I love that I'm hearing this, that Janet Jackson isn't just some crazy Democrat. Legendary pop star Janet Jackson recently questioned Kamala Harris's racial identity, stating in an interview that the vice president is not black. This statement has sparked some debate, particularly around Kamala's own shifting narrative about her background. While Kamala has often leaned into her multi-ethnic identity, it seems that even prominent figures in the black community are skeptical of how she presents herself. Jackson's comments are indicative of broader doubts about Kamala's ability to connect authentically with various communities. It's like Trump. They jumped on Donald Trump. Kamala Harris, and I put this in preview video, put herself out there as being Indian, and though she is part Jamaican, her mother is Indian, her father is Jamaican. Jamaican is black, but it's not African American. So when people think black and African American and black churches, black schools, historically black colleges, etc., most of the time people are thinking of African American. And she really needs to basically, what's so hard about saying she's biracial? But it's this whole thing. My other half told me, and said she was running as a Indian until Biden came forward and said, I want to hire a black woman to be my vice president. And then boom, all of a sudden, Kamala Harris was full-blown black. Not saying that she's not black. She's black. She's got black heritage, but she's also Indian. And like Donald Trump said, 1 minute you're this, 1 minute you're that. I'm just questioning. And that's what somebody like Janet Jackson is questioning. Meanwhile, Elon Musk faces legal threats from the Biden-Harris administration. The Biden-Harris continues to target tech entrepreneur Elon Musk. The SEC, under Biden's control, is seeking sanctions against Musk after he failed to appear in court as part of an investigation into his $44 billion acquisition of Twitter. This move by the Biden administration seems like yet another attempt to punish those who don't fall in line with their agenda. Musk's defense of Washington's overreach is emblematic of the right for free speech and innovation in America. I don't know what the political executive president or whatever has anything to do with somebody acquiring a social media company. Just like I don't really understand the government trying to shut down TikTok, which is still not shut down. One last bit of news to go over today is 3 Mile Island to reopen for AI. And a surprising development, The infamous 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant, the site of the worst nuclear accident in U.S. history, will reopen to help power Microsoft's artificial intelligence ambitions. This marks as a significant moment in the use of nuclear energy, as the facility will now be repurposed for the new era of technology. This development underscores the potential of AI to reshape industries, but also raises questions about safety and the future of our energy production. Thank you for tuning in to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. We're now going to do the segment that I like, and hopefully you will stay tuned this long to listen to it. I like to give you a little bit of Go Right music that's like a little musical recap of what's going on today. And I hope you enjoy it. If you have any suggestions in the future of different styles of music or anything like that, just let me know. But afterwards, we'll be right back with the Go Right recap. We'll be right back.
In a world where truth gets lost in the fray, we're rising up, let our voices convey. From the heart of America, we'll stand and unite. With Go Right News, we'll shine through the night. The IRS unions got their sights on a name, backing Kamala, playing a risky game. But we see the ties, the bureaucratic dance. In a constitutional republic, we'll take our stance. Oh, we're fighting for freedom, we'll raise our voice. In the land of the brave, we will make our choice. From the cities to the fields, let the truth ignite. Together we'll stand ready for the fight. Kamala snubs the charity tradition thrown aside, ignoring the call for unity. She's got nowhere to hide. Well, the hearts of the people call for a chance. We'll push for the values that keep our hope in hands. Oh, we're standing for justice, we won't back down. With every heartbeat, we'll take our crown. From the mountains to the valleys, let the truth be told. In this land of promise, our future's bold. In the heart of the Midwest, gun owners rise. Republicans and Democrats see through the lies. Ownership of freedom, it's a shared desire. As we break the silence, we'll light the fire. Oh, we're echoing loudly, let our voices ring. For the Second Amendment, we'll stand as a king. In the face of the danger, we'll always strive. Together as one, we'll keep hope alive. With broadband funds wasted, the people in need. But in the shadows of power, we plant the seed. For truth and for justice, we'll stand up tall. In a world that's divided, we'll answer the call. Oh, we're lifting each other in this fight for right. With the strength of our numbers, we'll shine through the night. From the coastlines to the prairies, let the message spread. In this constitutional struggle, we'll move ahead. Comes favor is rising through the storms. He stands in a world full of chaos. He'll make his demands. With the future uncertain, we'll carve our way. In the name of our freedom, we won't be led astray. Oh, we're marching together, hear the thunderous sound. For the values we cherish, we'll stand our ground. From the cities to the heartland, let the banner fly. In this battle for truth, we'll never say die. The media's bias, it cuts like a knife. But with Go Right News, we're reclaiming our life. For every voice silenced, we'll break down the walls. In a land built on freedom, we'll answer the calls. Oh, we're champions of truth in this land we adore. For the constitutionalists, we're ready for more. With courage and conviction, we'll forge our own way. In the heart of America, we'll fight every day. So let's raise our voices, let the truth be known. In a world of division, we're never alone. With Go Right News and our hearts intertwined. For America's future, let our dreams align.
I hope y'all enjoyed that. So here is the hashtag Go Right recap. The numbers are telling a bigger story. Trump's favorability remains resilient, even more so than some of the most popular figures in pop culture, showing that his influence isn't waning despite legal challenges and media attacks. The rise he's beaten Taylor Swift. The rise in gun ownership among both Republicans and Democrats reflects an increasing desire for personal security, a reminder that the Second Amendment transcends party lines, and the media's overwhelming partisan bias. With just 3.4% of reporters identifying as Republicans, it underscores why alternative news platforms like Go Right News are so vital. Meanwhile, Trump's announcement that he won't run in 2028 if he loses in 2024, that's a big if, because I think Trump will win, that's my opinion, marks a turning point in GOP politics. This upcoming election will define not only Trump's legacy, but also the future of the Republican Party. Please let it be a more moderate Republican Party. Trump remains at the forefront of political conversation with his favorability surpassing even pop stars like Taylor Swift. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris continues to face criticism for her lack of leadership, whether it's her absence from a bipartisan charity event or her failure to connect underserved Americans in broadband. On a more positive note, though, election integrity saw victories with the passing of a hand-counted ballot requirements in Georgia and Oklahoma's efforts to purge voter rolls of ineligible voters. Meanwhile, election integrity takes center stage in Georgia as the state moves to hand-count ballots in the upcoming presidential election, a clear victory of those seeking transparency. And while Kamala continues to fail in her role of broadband czar, Trump's favorability stays strong. I'm going to keep telling that one. And Kamala Harris's latest endorsement from the IRS union raises eyebrows, signaling her strong ties to bureaucratic power. Her sudden shift to pro-Second Amendment, which is not exactly bad, but it's still weird, stance appears politically motivated as she tries to win over rural voters. But voters should not forget her previous positions that were far, far more restrictive on gun rights. As we look ahead with the 2024 election, it's clear that the stakes are higher than ever. Whether it's securing gun rights, protecting election integrity, or standing against government overreach, now is the time to act. So thanks for tuning in to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. Please stay informed by visiting GoRightNews.com for the latest updates and in-depth analysis. And you can also find us on Rumble at Go Right News, YouTube, TikTok for now, and Facebook and many other platforms, including X. If you want to support the cause, head over to Cash App at $ Peter Boykin, the number 1. For more information, visit GoRightNews.com and PeterBoykin.com. So let's keep fighting to go right. God bless everybody. Peace.